Yeah, we live. Basically, Dr. Americas. I got the Empress on the line. You know what I'm saying? Because of the pandemic, y'all know what it do. Nothing don't stop. You know, we move and groove, and we do what we got to do to keep everything going from generation to generation. So we have decided to put this show called, what is it called?
The show is called.
She laughing.
Oh my goodness.
The show is called Honeymoon Series because we have made an agreement of what we're going to do with our lives and come together.
No, seriously, okay, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say I just forgot. I forgot to leave. Okay, the show is called the Honeymoon Series. This is the intro, the very first episode of the series Honeymoon Series. It is with myself, D. Lotus, and it is also with. Go ahead, tell them.
Oh, now I gotta tell them. You know. See, I'm gonna tell these guys. Listen, the feminine energy is a whole nother type of something to deal with. You know, it's like whoa. You know, before this, I was celibate for like maybe 23 years, 25 years. Not even trying to take a peek at the peak of the pot of the spot of the twat. So now that it's there, but it's not there, but it's there, but the energy that's around it, that feminine energy is different. So I'm learning that, and I advise y'all to really slow your roll, because you're going in the wrong direction. You may have knowledge of the system, you may have knowledge of the environment because they took them out of their proper environment and put them in a different environment. But
That's true.
as
Very true.
right. But anyway, as time went on, right, they were gaining. They're gaining. So they're really on top. Now just a little bit of information on how to articulate because you can't change the natural order. So that's what the honeymoon series is about. It's a lot of facts, information,
Yes.
and I guess she want to say something. So go ahead.
I don't have anything to say. I was just like side checking you, like yes.
Oh, okay. She's agreed. She's agreed. Yeah. So we said, well, how can we do this? How can we make this? First of all, they got so many restrictions. They say you can't make it for the children. That means we can't teach the children. So we go in a natural order and teach the feminine energy, and then they teach their creation. They teach that who they created. And if they stand as a species, instead of standing as a race or ethnic group, then they can go ahead and put on a scientific cap, thinking as scientists, and then they will know about what they're capable of doing, who have what, and then when they put on geography and be a historian, then they can see what has been done, what has been tied up, what has been done wrong. Then when they put on, they sit down and put on their judge cap of liberty and justice, we can figure this all out. The women can figure it all out. The female energy can figure it all out. And those who want to be and do what they've been doing, it's okay. We'll utilize that also. You'll be a shining star of not to be like. So with this, yeah, with this, we hope we get some. I mean, you're not always going to see us agree on everything, but we both have good intentions, not towards self, but towards the unification of what it is. So she's up now because I already introduced myself. I've been talking for years. Y'all can Google me and see different things. I'm not taking it down because I don't want nobody to come to y'all and with a suit on or with some fly ass shit on and just say what he say and you see him. You're gonna see me in every stage of what I came to do, and when I got on the platform, you'll know the history as we go along. I'm not just gonna spit it out because it's a show, and I want y'all to understand. I don't want to keep talking, so I'm just going to take it over to Empress uh, B Lotus for right now. Let me
Yes,
clear
I
my
am
throat.
deloaded. I am deloaded. And I don't have it all completely like my articulation, meaning like the way that I express myself, the words I choose to use, because there's different words you can use that can explain the same thing, and it can have a different frequency. You know what I mean? So I feel like over time, I kind of really became so lenient on that part of myself, that articulation, because I was always just around the same type of people after a while. So it's like I feel good because now I have a much more a greater articulation, a way of expressing what it is, because it's always been clear that I know the truth, but I haven't been clear that what I know now is like I always knew it. When I say that, it sounds kind of crazy to say, no, you didn't always know. No, I didn't. But ever since I've known, I've known. If that makes any sense. So basically, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be in this journey. I'm transparent. I'm going to keep it 1,000. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go through everything. You know what I mean? If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, then it is what it is. That's the stuff about it. That's stuff.
Okay, so I think what she said, in from what I think what she said is like it's a new generation, and generation is genes, action, genes ration. Ration is like uh an amount, a new generation. It's like every generation. A generation is it's about 14 years, and the system says it's different because they don't truly want you to know, and for many different reasons. So we're staying neutral. A lot of things we say, we're not going extremely right as far as what those would say that's in leadership, as far as they call themselves black, or those who are in leadership to say white. It's not even a black or white thing. We're going past that with biblical terms. We're forming and redirecting people to gather in a tribal formation so they can be kings and queens, and then we can take it where those who are kings and queens were only actually the civil ones, where we rise up and be civilizers. And this is something they don't want. The system of things, not only when we say the system of things, we're talking about leaders both who consider themselves black, who consider themselves white. They don't really want people to go past them. They want to stay in continual rule, and that's called control. Control is two words: CONT, continue, and ROL is roll, as in the cipher, the circle, or in rule. So we're going to teach. She will teach, because I will. Actually, I'm not really going. I'm not retired, because that's one word I didn't like. But I believe when she articulate whatever her concerns, that's how the planet is vibrating. My overall view of what's going on is different from the day-to-day things that should be addressed, as far not political, but as far as political is policy, their policy. We're talking about the overall view for our continuous establishing the return of the souls, which they call energy cannot be destroyed. So when someone leaves here and their body renders itself back to the earth, which is actually a living organism, right, called Gia. That's what we call it, geology. But the fact is that the energy that we are, right, it returns. So right now we're establishing how we can build these this return is called umat, or community. You know, some people call gated communities and this and that. So it's the collective force of the womb, the woman, right, who creates, and in this creation, then the light comes into that body as she germinates the body with her magnificent womb, which is now called triple darkness, or they call it mistress. There's different names for the feminine energy. But once it's articulated, when I say it, it's just going to continue as a man would say it. But when she say it, then it will bring forth and hit certain things that will generate in you. So she can expound on that. Let's see. She's there. I guess she's articulating what's going on. So this show right here is basically a show to get people that's in a new relationship to understand each other, and and give those who have a responsibility
Right.
towards their children, or duplication, because we try to refrain from saying children because it separates you more. If you say duplication, it is a closer vibe. So like I said, she would be doing the talking, and I say she because once one learned, we don't have to keep reiterating names because it's not really good. She represents energy. It's CHI. So that's the energy. So once we start looking at energy, then we can go that. Now, before we even go further on this honeymoon series, I just would like to congratulate those who stuck in there and did the best they could without ill intentions, but still went the wrong goddamn way. Okay, so it's like you know, this is what sometimes people will hear what I'm saying. It's like, damn, is he talking about me? Actually, yes and no, but at the same time, this is the time where people can stop, shake it off, and go to the end of the line and learn this new movement with the technology. This is what I was trying to explain years ago, that it will be a time when they either be a pillar of strength, and that's beautiful, but that they won't be active. They'll be like examples of what not to do. So if that's, hey, rock on with your bad self. But like I said, it's about that clean, fresh, the new. And those who are trying to stop, we will go through this many ways on how people try to stop. So y'all will be able.
About that clean, fresh.
Yeah, yeah. People they be like, certain people, they think they're getting around stuff. Just because a person's drunk, that don't mean they can't smell what's going on. So if you feed them the alcohol, and they say, well, I'm gonna get, that's not it. It's certain things we have to do. It's certain cultures, and we're gonna explain about culture, what culture really mean. Sometimes you see a word, they say, oh, I got culture. Okay. And then you skip on, and then they talk about the next thing, and they don't really define every word that's being spoken or heard. It has to be defined, and it's a process.
But every word needs to be defined. This is what I'm trying to tell my people. When we speak this language, we don't know what the fuck it is. The thing about it, the reason that we don't even know what X word we're saying means. That's why we need to define it, because we're not sitting on native terms.
Right.
So think about all the things, like you want to say I'm a Christian or whatever. It's just like, take the time to just know what you need to know. That's it.
Right.
That's gonna be
true. True. And baby, when your tickets okay, right now we're going through the the intro, and I'm just gonna tell she that we be like, damn, he call her she. Yeah, I call her she. It's it for us actually, because she really not here. It's a hologram, but that's a whole nother lesson. But this here, when you speak, because of the technology, uh, you have to just take it down a notch. You know, it's like test one, testing on the mic. You,
Okay, test one, test two.
yeah, you're going like really, really speedo, because you got it, baby. You got that, and salute, salute.
Test three.
But the people when they hear it, they're gonna be like, you like smacking them left and right with the
I
info.
apologize, I'm gonna run it back. My bad. Much love. I'm going back on mute.
Thank you. Yeah, she going to say it. She gonna say it a little bit slower, because people right now, you people are you're clueless. That's why you don't mind people talking to you any way. You resonate with that. You feel good that you're hearing something different, somebody that care for you. You know, the thing about True Care that was put out, and it came from a book, and I'm not going to name the book, but it came from a book, True Care, and then with the word care is CARE, and the CA means something, the RE means something. That's what we say, speaking slower. We're not saying speaking slower as far as the speed, that also is included, but we're talking about defining every letter, every symbol. A letter is a symbol, and the reason that they say letter is because it's to let tears, uncertainty, confusion come with what they call the death of a nation or definition. So when people ran to get these words, which WORD, which actually is WORLD, lead into war, lead into confusion. War is WOR, which is also WAR, which is also in reverse RAW, which is raw. The raw represent the animalistic people that were evolving, and those who were chosen was given melanation, that they now call pigmentation, right? That is used to absorb frequencies, energies, and transmissions from a higher form, what we call ethereal forces. So what we say now, she just you know that feminine energy. That was good. We said appreciate that. So what we doing now? She just took me off of everything. I guess it's time for her to say something. Cause go ahead, you up, baby.
Talk that shit. I want him to know. I would agree with him so much. But you guys, I don't have nothing to say to it. I just like, I love when I mean, that's one thing I know. I ain't never been someone that just been all about the thinking.
Right. But
when I'm
so what I'm saying, that you heard what I said. Okay, now we're teaching the people introduction is actually Hyatt. So when Hyatt, yes, Hyatt, HAYAAT, Hyatt, like the Hyatt Hotel, like the Hyatt Hotel. So when we say life, when people taught us to say life, they were actually saying.
Hold on, that's your question, please.
Where
does the word Hyatt come from?
It comes from H. Okay, you have vowels, AEIOU, and then you have the building of the vowels with the consonants, right? And the consonants and the letters, right, brings about it gives the form, but then the articulation of the AEIOU brings about a different frequency. So when we say HU, right, that means energy or force. So when they say HA, ha, right? It is almost like saying it gets real. I mean, when I go back on it like this, it goes real far. But when they say HA, ha, right? What they say, they calling it the force of creative will. When you say EL,
No, and that's what they spell when they say ha ha ha, like when you're laughing. So
ha ha ha.
Will.
Right.
To make someone laugh, very creative. That's a very good force right there. That's that. You know what I mean?
Right. I got that's a good way of looking at it. So what it is now, as we begin to go through the symbols that they call Al for Bayeth. Bayeth is woman. Al or is like alpha first, the woman's first, but the position of zero with the cipher, and man is that one. You know that position on the thing. You already know that. So when you articulate and you explain it to them, right? I think they would get it better because the people that was learning from me and then going off and learning from other people, the motherfuckers is confused. They just fucked up in the head. And that's where I want to put it now because I want y'all to feel that shit, to know that shit. So, and you know, yeah, you're fucked up in the head. You thought I wasn't coming through, and it wasn't evident. I was coming backwards doing the moonwalk. That's why Michael Jackson did the moonwalk. He explained about the eugenics. He explained about the difference in the skin, you know, and
the way you start going forward first, and then you start going backwards.
Right.
And when it goes backwards, that's when it really gets going.
It really gets it.
Come on. Come on, Michael.
Go ahead, Michael. Right.
Come on.
Right.
That's bomb.
That was the bomb, right? You know, and it's always gonna be there for reference because he already did that, and then then he got the host to reproduce the opposite.
And you see how he put the whole foot out, like up and down, like he's making make sure he's making, let you know he's taking a whole step back. That's done.
See, that's what I said. She can articulate it more than I can because Michael Jackson, like I said, Mr. Michael Jackson was a blessing, you know, for those.
Yeah, people call him the Archangel Michael.
Right. That's what it was in tune for, you know. And then with the other,
I heard that Prince was one of them angels too. I don't remember his name right now though.
Yeah, that's why Prince went from a name, right, to a symbol. To a symbol, right.
And, God, he turned that shit up with that. And I didn't know nothing about it, but at first I thought he was so weird. But I started like later, I was like, what the hell? He was the shit.
Yeah, and he would, and what he represented too was the fact that what we call the mutations.
The fluidity.
Yeah, fluidity. But what I'm talking about, mulattoes.
Oh yeah.
He represents the mulattoes, but at the same time he was trying to get back to his original. That original.
You know what he was?
Say it again.
You know who he was. There's some mulattoes who still don't know who they are when they think they do, but Prince knew who he was.
Right. And he was a symbol for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's a difference between having pride, being a mulatto, and then want to go ahead and act like you an albino or act like you evolving like a animal.
Yeah, you put yourself in a place where you are. You Jesus now. You put yourself up for everybody's sin.
Right. You know, certain people knew that they was only going to go but so far, and then they was going to be eliminated.
Because for me, I didn't so crazy how I did not acknowledge him. I was like, okay, whatever. Then what them things were called, the song chants on and stuff, and I'm just like, damn, it was something else, and I didn't know it at one point.
Oh yeah. You know, he left. He went from mortal to immortality because we still speaking of him in his physical absence.
Oh yeah. Everybody don't get talked about.
Everybody don't get.
And they really want to talk about winning, but they still got to. But they can say what they want to, but you're gonna still bring her up again.
Who's that?
Whitney Houston.
Oh yeah.
Whatever they got to say about her, they might as well cut it out. We're gonna bring her back up every time.
Right. And
but then nobody took that spot.
Ain't nobody take that spot, right? But you know what?
That's
something that I have to learn for, because I was on a different frequency. As far as it didn't resonate with me what she was saying, or maybe one or two.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to acknowledge people when they think they're drug addicts and stuff, so they think they're just less.
Oh, okay, that's what people thinking. Yeah, that's what it do. That's what it do.
Because I grew up with a lot of people that I love, and I knew that they had those type of things going on. I still know that they can still be functioning, even though things might not be, but it's still not as bad as they show it on the world, for TV and stuff. You know, not all the time.
Yeah,
I always grew up around that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was.
I'm still here.
That was. That. What we define that as they call it, they say one thing, we call it as stimulation, because it was needed. It was the fact that people were so downtrodden that they had to have that stimulation. Now this here 2020, 2021.
The whole crack era, so they had to slow everybody down. They knew we needed that stimulation.
Right.
They interrupted it. They put a hiccup. That's why they had to fix it for everybody though.
Right.
They knew what was going on.
Because initially the whole population was Coca-Cola was actually cocaine.
That's right.
Pepsi-Cola was cocaine. And then they had
people that put on cocaine, people didn't even know why they was craving something so different. They started doing other shit, not knowing that because they were drinking a soda.
They was drinking the soda, right? They was drinking the soda. And
they literally made some people become dope crackheads.
Yeah.
So they targeted that Coca-Cola was for black people.
Right. They were targeting on those people who were now mulatto, and they were looking to reprogram their DNA to their origin of what they call Aswad, or they call Saud. Right. So they didn't want people to go too far, right? Or for what their program was. Their program. Okay. While people were partying like a rock star, while people were getting into different styles of clothing and stuff like that, emulating the mulattoes, emulating the fathering founders of this particular what they say United States.
Wait. Hold on. This is what you've been telling me this whole time. The whole world is the United States of America is based on mulatto people.
Right, for sure.
Oh my, they hate their mom.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I want to throw this fucking phone on the ground.
Well, let me ask you, how long did it take to get that one?
Hell no.
Hell to the yo.
Hell no. I'm dead.
You're now listening to the honeymoon series, me and my wife, Empress Americas.
Oh hell no, I just looked up and did a mobile. There's no way.
Wow.
Hold the phone.
Did the boom.
You know why the mama don't like why? Because they've been raping her, they've been wanting her the whole time. They've been taking that. I'm done. Mama's baby, daddy's baby. I'm about to throw up. That's funny.
She just you're listening to the honeymoon series.
All these celebrities and all these people on TV, they're all little badass kids.
Okay, so y'all listening. This is not, remember, this is not a script. This is what it be. This is what it do.
Wow.
You know.
That is funny.
Yeah.
And that's how you know how they say, like, the natural order, returning back to the natural order, nature does not change, nature stays. Nature has a system that is, everything that has to do with nature, it stays consistent within your body, your respiratory system, your digestive system, the fucking, the seasons out here, everything that goes on, condensation, all that bullshit, the whole system, all that shit stays the same. Only thing that changes is you. So I'm like, wait a second, when he just said that is so funny because that's the realest shit ever.
I get a check mark. I'm not in the doghouse, y'all.
You've been telling me for 17. You've been telling me every second, and I really thought I knew, and now I really know for the first time.
All right, that's what
I'm talking about. I told y'all to get in this quick.
Hold on. I'm gonna ring the bell. I'm gonna ring the angelic bell I got here for that one.
Yeah. You like what? You can't believe I just figured that out, y'all. Yeah. Like so clearly. I mean, I've always got it a little bit, but this is so clear. Ain't nothing. I got it now.
And I'm glad you reiterated, because the people that got a little bit, like you had a little bit, we got a lot more now. They had a little bit, and then they didn't want to defend it, so they ran away with a little bit, and now they got.
That's what I always tell you. I feel like I don't know what you're talking about. I'm confused.
Right.
It's like I know I should know, but I'm confused a little bit for some reason.
Right.
And there's certain words. That's why people give up so easily, because there's certain things you have to hear. There's a certain vibration you need to feel. Someone has to speak to you correctly. All those different things for you to actually get something. And they have to be willing to deal with it, and you have to be willing to deal with it. If someone really loves you, that's how you know real love. They won't give up. They won't get mad. They'll keep telling you. They won't give you that right vibration.
I think they got something in the book that people can read when they say love is gentle, love is kind, love is not harsh. And that's one thing. But to explain what love is, when you're looking at it analytically, is actually LOVE. The V, if you say the W, you're going to write two V's. You'll write two V's when you say the double of the U. So when you put the two U's, instead of making, if you say W and write W, instead of writing two V's, and you put two U's, you're going to see that the word love is low. This particular low is with the angels lowered themselves to teach the humans that they created. So when they created when they created the humans, they said, now spread this love, spread this. And that was for those that was melanated, those who were evolving and not chosen to have this love, this information, affirmation, whatever people want to call it now. They evolving. Those who are melanated is supposed to be the ones that's teaching.
What they've also done was created a place where everybody is so trying to be invited. They're like, oh, let me do what you, because they think like, oh, I need to do what you so I can do something. But really, you're allowing them to do your shit.
Right.
And now it's already done. It's too late now. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's already been done. But it's like, that's what y'all did. Y'all can learn the property value. There's nothing rude about that. It's not like I'm saying, oh, you guys are terrible. It's not about that. It's about that's not what we're supposed to be doing.
Right, but then again, people got what we say. We gave them, the angelic realm gave them. They gave them will to either make the right choice or don't make it. Right, but right now we're in a situation. People in a situation that they don't have the choices. So all we're doing is giving y'all the choices on how to have a happy family, to not to disagree and not disagree and all this what they talking about, but to figure it out. Take your time, and y'all can work it out together if y'all made that commitment.
Right, and you know where to come if you want to have a certain type of whatever, if you agree with whatever's going on this way.
Right, we're opening our empire.
Extending our arms, saying, "Come through, you're welcome."
You're welcome, right?
It's not for everybody, but if it's for you, then it's for you. Come through. And if it's not for you, it's nothing against you. Shit. If it ends up being for you another time, come through.
And also like and share. Also teach what you
Please like
know,
and share.
what you have found out that resonated, because we see that, through she, that certain things can be said, but it doesn't, it's there, it has to digest, register, and be utilized at a certain time. So you have knowledge to know.
Listen, y'all, I'm smart as hell. I really am very smart, but I still be slow as turn. Okay. But as much as I knew, I did not really know until just when I said, like, wait a second. So that's called epiphany.
Epiphany?
That's one of the words. But for me, I call it click. And I've been knowing that, I got this big thing that be fucking with me from above, so they be letting me know what it is and what it's not.
Yeah, you actually listening to the new school. The new school will be implemented by the tribal leader, which is the feminine energy. When we say feminine energy, not saying that the duplications, you have the original, then you have the duplication. The original is she, the duplication is he. That same he goes with ha and who, which is energy, creative energy. So everybody's connected with the proper word that we're using now is naturat. You remember naturat, you remember nefer, you remember natur, and then it goes to naturat. And for those who know about the at and the feminine gender of Allah, Allah, and Allah. So we're breaking that stigma of when they say Allah, but then they say arm, leg, arm, and head, and they don't say penis for a reason, because they was really referring to Alat, but they did not know the 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 language of Arabic. So they used the best that they could. They get salute. As we continue, we pat them on the back, tell their ass to get to the end of the line, and let's proceed. And then probably went over people's heads, but it's okay. But when this is the introduction to the honeymoon series, so you can go ahead if you're married for 1 year, 2 months, 1 day, or getting ready to be in this specific situation, you will learn so much. Even though you may hear in the background, whatever, don't focus. Learn how to focus on what you need to hear. If you on the cell phone and you got a bad connection that is done purposely many times, don't hesitate, and don't when I say hesitate, continue. Listen. It's a difference between listening and hearing.
He's saying that sometimes you might feel like there's a lot of static or interruption or whatever going on while you're listening to things that are helping to elevate you, to cause you to, get back into the light. Don't let that deter you. Continue listening. If it's really static, you listen through, you know what I mean? If you need to try to take a click off and come right back on, do what you have to do. But don't let it stop you or make you feel like, okay, never mind, let me just go through some fuck shit, because you're here for a reason. You have a purpose. So just don't forget that, and know that it sometimes you don't even have to worry about it. Just let the static go, whatever. It'll come back to you, because they want to stop. Nobody, the world is not set up to benefit us or you. So just know that. So we gotta do our shit.
The world is not set up. The world as it is right now is not set up. It's the word world, WORLD, is the LD means to lead, and the WOR is to lead into war. So the word world is not the word globe. The word globe is different from the word world. That's what you see. It's a difference in everything that we speak. So as we continue to learn these things, and you have to get it gradually, and you will actually get it from the she, from the ones who's making the impressions, the new impressions, and this what we call the tranquility, or as you drop a pebble in the waters and it start rippling effect, this new ripple, will be articulated. You will have the introduction right now, you hear me speaking, and you hear me, and you'll have other ways that you can go and you can listen to what I'm saying, because it will be what it is. But at the same time, I don't want you to follow me. I want you to follow the natural order. And I've been telling those that I knew for all these years, like 30 or more, right? So they are also doing what they need to do. But right now is a code red, which means stop, get your funky ass at the back of the line, because this is not a joke. That's it. And it's like the vortex is closing. You must get on this other side. This represent what we are. We represent a whole new way of getting it done. You see, we had overlap the presence of 1970s, 77, 80s. It was an overlap of this and something new. But as we pulled it apart, as you see what I'm doing, I'm pulling it apart. You have one side and the other side, and then you have a bridge. This bridge is taking you from that which is not right to that which will be right. So that's what we're saying here. And right now, you may not be able to visualize it if you hear audible, but if you see me, I just gave you and demonstrated on it so you can see what's going on. When I believe when she get it done, you'll be able to ask questions, and she'll be able to get it to you when she get the format to what we're talking about. She's building the platform. This right here platform is just a spin-off. You know, she's going to deal with the cipher for now, and then she will spin off also. And that's dealing with the 360 degrees that's been said in the public and private schools, but it's really 361 degrees. It's spiral. You know, it's the 6, it's the Y, it's the 9. All of that comes into play. All that symbol of symmetry is real. And as a mathematician, as a scientist, as a geologist, you know, we have to really put it together. You have to wear a lot of hats. You know, you're not just a person. You're just not a people. You're not just black or black. You're more than that. You know, Black Lives Matter. They say Black Lives Matter is because if it ain't no black, ain't no white. As long as you can say black, they can say white. You see, even though they stole that concept, they wear that like it's theirs. But when you don't say black, they can't say white. When you say Nubian, it's already historically proven. So now you don't upgrade your status. You're not a slave any longer. And then there's ways to change the name, and there's different ways to pronounce the name, to take that name and use it differently. So this is why this is a honeymoon series, and yes, I just explained to you what love is. So, but the unity that I have with my significant other is I'm grateful for those that was before me who kind of gave me what kind of hints that this would be a boom boom chicka chick boom boom boom. You know what I'm saying? So, so I feel good about that. So yeah, we getting ready to go ahead and close this session. I want to wait till like 45. 145. I'm gonna click off. You want to say anything, baby? And as you say, fellas, they call you fellas because that means you fell low. When they say fellas, and they be like, yeah, fellas in the house, that means you fell low. You know, when they say love,